What it do, what it ain't, what it is your boy Mr. Wilson. What's good, still a nation? Welcome back to the break room. His Ravens week part 2. We coming off of a tough L up in Philly. We are looking forward to the Ravens week part 2 in Baltimore. It's a big game. So many implications surround this game. And it goes back to something I said several times, in several other editions of the break room, is that no matter how good of a season we have to finish this season, because the Ravens will always be right there. That's just the reality. That's the history.
Which team is better equipped to win playoff games on the road, the Ravens or the Steelers?
Yeah, I definitely think
Again, the ex-Raven is going to say the Ravens.
it's the Ravens. I think it's because the Ravens can win in multiple ways. And there are a couple teams in the league that I feel
And we're going to say the Ravens can win in multiple ways, as if the Steelers haven't won in multiple ways this season.
can win in multiple ways. You can't always control the tempo of the game or the script and how it plays out. If you have, honestly, it comes back down to the quarterback. Like, if you have a quarterback that can do the things that Lamar can do, then you're never really, truly out of a game. And if you have to have a shootout, if you have to run the ball with Henry, you can do that. Like, they can win in multiple ways on offense. And I can't say the same thing is true of the Steelers.
So let me get to something that we touched on earlier this morning. We mentioned that Lamar Jackson has historically struggled against the Steelers.
Yeah.
Let me put some numbers to that, okay? In 5 career starts, he's 1-4. He's got a 5 touchdown, 8 interception ratio, and he has 0 rushing touchdowns in those starts. So all these numbers are startling. We borrowed a tape from my crew at Sunday NFL Countdown, because when they were getting ready to play each other earlier in the season, we put together a tape Teddy Bruschi did, and Jeff is going to do it for you now, about just exactly what it is the Steelers do defensively so effectively against Lamar.
Real quick, and this is why I rock with Jeff Saturday. This is why so many of these analysts I don't give any kind of value to, because many of them are speaking from opinion. What you're about to see right here is Jeff Saturday break down film as to why the Steelers actually have success. Greeny's like, I don't know what do the Steelers do? Why are they so successful against the Ravens? And Jeff Saturday's going to break it down. He's going to show film as to why the Steelers have success. Real quick, my thoughts on all of this is, as always with them, they run first, and they run first to open up the offense for the passes, the big bombs, the big plays that you see Lamar Jackson have. So, we have to just continue to do what we've been doing. We have to have success in the run game first. That is step number 1. And just looking back at the Eagles game, we didn't play them bad defensively. So if we want to break it down, our defense against their offense, our defense didn't do terrible against their offense, but our offense didn't do good at all against their defense. That was the determining factor. Defense played good. Special teams played good. The defense kept us in that game. So, and then I went back and looked at the Ravens against the Eagles like 2 weeks ago. That game was 24-19. So it wasn't that much of a difference in score. It just came down to, the Steelers didn't have enough offensive firepower to keep up with their defense and ultimately to keep up with their offense. So missing George Pickens has really hurt us. This is where many people came in saying that we needed wide receiver too. And, the same still rings true today. Like, I really thought Mike Williams was going to have a better outing. I thought Mike Williams was going to be able to be what you call it, a plug and play guy. We don't have George Pickens. Put Mike Williams in there and let him do some of the same things that George Pickens was doing. But unfortunately, there wasn't much success with that. Um, and so I don't know what the Steelers do with Mike Williams. I mean, because at this point, he's been there long enough to where he should know the playbook to where he's being effective, effectively used in the game. So Calvin Austin, you know, I really, I really think Calvin Austin has had a phenomenal season up until this point. They got to be able to use Calvin Austin in space a little more because of his quickness, because of his speed. They have to be able to use him in space. We got to win this game. We don't want to come down to winning the division based off of playing the Chiefs on Christmas, who find a way to win games, and then the Bengals, who have been playing much better since we've played them. I mean, they played good all season. They've been putting up points and stuff all season, but some of the games that they were losing early on, they're beginning to now win those games. So we don't want to put our eggs in those baskets when we can go to Baltimore and we can beat them in a head-to-head matchup. The Steelers got to go out there and win this game. It's pivotal. It's important, and which is why I disagree with people who said that, oh man, it's the Eagles. They're not in our division. They're not this. They're not that. What's more important is winning the game against the Ravens. And although that is true, we can't just disregard a game against the Eagles because they're not a divisional opponent. Because now Baltimore is only one game behind us. Whereas if we had won that game, if we could have found a way to win that game, we would still have like a 2-game lead over Baltimore. So yeah, I'm gonna let Saturday do his thing. I said before, Saturday's a real one, and I really like this footage that he put together. And he's speaking about run lane integrity. So which is something that it keeps Lamar from having these crazy breakout runs. Like the Ravens run all over the rest of the league, in the regular season, but everyone's trying to figure out why he can't do that against the Steelers. So, hopefully they can continue to keep him contained. Hopefully they can continue to keep the lid on that offense in terms of playing us. Just hope TJ's healthy. That was my number one concern when I spoke to people. I hope TJ's okay. And one thing that kind of put me in a foul mood was I was watching the game with an Eagles fan, someone I've known for a long time. And he celebrated when TJ got hurt, and that kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. Yeah, it left a really bad taste in my mouth when that happened, because I'm one that, going back to like playing, you take a knee, if you're in the stands, you sit down when a player gets hurt. We're not celebrating the fact that the player gets hurt. I'm very confident in our defense in terms of shutting down a run game. Like, Derrick Henry was having a monster season until he played us. Saquon was having an MVP season until he played us. And just looking at a couple clips online here and there, they're not even having Saquon in the MVP race no more. It's back to Lamar Jackson and back to Josh Allen. But I can't really put too much weight on the Ravens win last week because it's the Giants, and the Giants at this stage, they are super lost. When we played them early in the season, they were still put together. But now these guys are super lost. They didn't went through 2 quarterbacks. They're getting people out the way. They firing people. They releasing players. I mean, I don't know if Daniel Jones is even part of the team anymore. I think they released him. So they're playing someone that is super lost and super, they have no direction whatsoever. They have no identity. So yeah, and a team as explosive as the Ravens, yeah, man, they did what they were supposed to do. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. So I don't want to put too much weight, you know, on last week. It just sucks that we're coming off of a loss. They're coming off of a win, so it's easy to see that they have a little bit of momentum because they feel good about their win last week. And they should. They should. They got a dub. Any week you get a dub, you should feel good about yourself. I just don't like the fact that we lost and the way that we lost. I hope the guys can rally back and get things back on track. Because this week is the season. This week is the season. In a season where we wasn't supposed to have much success at all, we've already defied so many odds. you have to go out there and make a statement game.
Yeah, it's called rush lane integrity. And when you have a mobile quarterback that can get out and do things with his legs, you want to keep them boxed in. And watch how they're going to run a little ET stunt, right? They're going to pick outside, roll in, and then, by the way, you got a spy sitting back behind it. His eyes are going to be focused on Lamar. So either gap to the right or left of the center that he decides to take, now we got to go chase and run, right? Push him to the edge. Don't let him throw a pass. You see everybody's chasing. Watch chasing from the backside. Again, that limits his ability to make big plays down the field. Again, they're going to leave a little gap in the middle. Everything's coming from the outside, and they're not rushing past the QB. They're staying level with the QB so they can retrace and, again, get behind Lamar, make him uncomfortable with the ball. When you start pushing quarterbacks in the center of the pocket, it's to make him uncomfortable, knowing the timing of the routes are going to be affected as well. Strip sack. All of a sudden, we got a big play. T.J. Watt's picking it up, trying to score. Anytime you're facing a quarterback that's as dangerous as Lamar Jackson, if you limit his mobility, it limits the timing on the route on the backside. Now he's got to make perfect throws. It's just harder to do.
So what are the answers to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think Lamar's been really incredible against every other team when you do that. We often get, and it's something we've been talking about for a long time, even when Lamar came to the draft, because his running plays are so explosive, people pretend like he's not comfortable in the pocket. Like he seems to prefer staying in the pocket than scrambling. So having him in the pocket right there, I don't think is always a problem. It's just for some reason the Steelers are able to take away his first looks often.
For some reason, nobody else in the league can, but for some reason the Steelers can. And, we're not going to sit here and make it seem like Lamar Jackson is not who Lamar Jackson is. Like Coach T already said, that's Mr. Jackson. Put some respect on his name. He's had a phenomenal year. I mean, this guy, he's breaking records this year. He's had a phenomenal year. So we cannot take that away from him. Statistically speaking, he should get MVP. However, many are saying that he has to win the division in order to solidify that MVP vote. Because the main difference between him and Josh is that Josh has, they are the division winners for the AFC East. So in order for Lamar to beef up his stock, they have to win the division. And that would pay dividends if they win this game on Saturday. We knew it was going to be tough. We knew it was going to be a gauntlet. We knew it before the season started. We saw it when the schedule came out. I believe they got to push all chips to the center of the table, for this game. We'll see what happens, man. This is AFC North football. This is what we always talk about when we talk to other people who are not familiar with the AFC North football. I mean, it always comes down to week 17. It always comes down to the last 2 weeks. Always. It's very stressful. It's very nerve-wracking. And, it's entertaining at the end of the day. But, this is what we love about the North, right? This is what we love about the North, man. We have to win this game Saturday. I don't want to be so dramatic as to say the season is riding on this, but to some degree the season is riding on this. Because Baltimore has momentum. Cincinnati's playing, they're winning a couple games. The games that they were losing, they're winning those games now. So we have to win this game Saturday. And if we win the game on Christmas and if we win the Bengals, great. That's awesome. That we're just mixing up the playoff seeding at that point. But we got to lock the North in this weekend. We have to. Lamar Jackson, them boys, they are what they are. We are what we are. And, they're getting healthy at the right time. And we've been stacking a couple injuries at the wrong time. So I just hope that we can pull this win out, man. It's going to be hostile territory, as they say. And Baltimore is just like Philly. It's a hostile territory. It's gritty. It's nasty. It's tough. But, we have a tough team. And, TJ Watt has to play this weekend. I think that goes without saying. And if TJ can rest the rest of the season, like if we can get this win, after this win, guys can sit. Guys can get rest. After this win, after we get this win, they can sit, they can rest and get ready for the postseason. But you can't sit and rest before then. Like, I don't, nah, man. They got to play this game. If they can walk, they can play. If they had 70%, they can play. They need to be out there, because right now our offense is like crippled without GP, and I was, one that I didn't think we necessarily needed to go out and get a guy, but that was infringed on health and health being on our side. And right now we haven't been healthy. So we have to go out with who we have because this game is important. And I'm sure Coach T understands that, and I'm sure, that's exactly what's going to happen. We already saw Deshaun Elliott, TJ, and GP playing. They had limited roles in practice, but they practice. Um, are you under the conspiracy that GP was really hurt or not? I don't know. I feel like they was being super cautious, but now we have to win, this game. Like, so, we can be cautious to a certain degree, but if you're talking about the season is coming down to this game, then guys got to play. Point blank, period. Point blank, period. So I appreciate y'all stopping by. I appreciate y'all, checking in on the break room. I hope you all have a great evening, and, let's get our minds right for Saturday. It's going to be a lot of, trash talk. It's going to be a lot of emotions. And this is that gauntlet we all referred to. But, as they say, man, we built for it, and we just got to, put our best foot forward and just go from there. Win, lose, draw, just give it your best effort and go from there. So, yeah, man, I'm going to holler at y'all on the next one. Until the next one, peace.